WNDS Sports and the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association present Candlepin Stars and Strikes, featuring the best candlepin bowlers from all over New England. And now in our 13th award-winning season, Candlepin Stars and Strikes, Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
Good afternoon once again, everybody, and welcome to Park Place Lanes in Windham, New Hampshire. I'm Doug Brown, working with my partner Dan Murphy, as always, for another edition of Candlepin Stars and Strikes, this being week 2 of our current series. And last week, first win on the program after 4 appearances for Rich Hallberg. He bowled an outstanding 410.
That's right. Had a great outing against Dan Broder. Started off with a few marks in the first game. He wasn't happy with the fills, but he turned that around the second game.
All right, let's meet our 2 bowlers for today. First of all, going for his second straight win, the number 5 seed for this series from Quincy, Massachusetts, Rich Hallberg.
Okay, Rich comes in averaging 120, high single 184, and high triple of 474.
And we should mention one other thing that Rich nearly did last week. He threw, in the second game, he had a solid strike, then a 9 drop, converted that for a spare, and then threw another strike, coming very close to knocking off our triple strike jackpot.
That's right. And the NHCBA says thank you. We still have to pay that money out. But
and the other bowlers say thank you also. They have a shot at it still.
That's right.
And Rich today will be facing our number 3 seed, making his first appearance in singles here on the Winds of New England, from Manchester, New Hampshire, Steve Plante.
Okay, Steve comes in averaging 121, high single 186, and his tri-triple is 445.
All right, and speaking of the triple strike jackpot, this week, it's up to $1,100. Our bonus ball contest will be worth $30 plus the brand new sets of bowling balls from Paramount Industries. That, of course, will come at the end of the program. But we have 3 games to come between Rich Hallberg and Steve Plante. We'll start the match after these messages. Don't go away.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is brought to you in part by Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan.
Welcome back to Candlepin Stars and Strikes. These are the 5 bowlers who qualified in this series. By the way, the final roll-off for this series was held at the Sunset Lanes in Newport, New Hampshire. Thank the fine staff there for handling all the details for us. Steve Plante was our number 3 qualifier by virtue of a tiebreaker. He, as you see, rolled a 674 along with Joe Tavernese. But Steve finishing 3rd by virtue of the fact that his high single in the roll-off was lower than Joe's. Dan Broder knocked off last week as the number 4 seed by Rich Hallberg with that 647 roll-off score, but he advanced last week, and today he will be trying for his 2nd win in a row. Last week, Rich Hallberg, 17 marks on the way to that 410.
And he'll be shooting at the 1, 3, and 10. Oh, pulls that ball to the left. First win last week, trying for his number 2, and this week Steve Plante trying for his first victory.
In his first appearance with us. The 1, 3, and 10 for the $10. As always, we thank you for joining us here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. For those of you who may be new to the program, welcome. We are here every Saturday and Sunday at 12 noon. On Saturdays, we do another show called Candlepin Skins, which is a little bit different from your normal Candlepin format. And on Sundays, the more traditional 3 games head-to-head competition here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes, all leading up to our end of the season Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions, which will begin not too far from now. The winter is almost over, Dan.
Almost.
I can hardly wait. Now that the Super Bowl is done, we can look forward to the end of winter.
Or the beginning of spring.
Either one would be fine.
That's right.
Steve Plante, the left-hander. And a very creative shot there. It turns into a 9 box for Steve. Steve Plante making his first appearance here in singles competition. That's kind of a neat way to play that shot.
It's, he was only looking at a difference of probably a pin. If he got 2 pins with 8, he figured the wood would take at least 1. He gets 7. He got a chance to make a few more, and he did. So, yeah, give him credit for that.
Last week, Dan Broder, who lost to Rich Hallberg, was making his 21st appearance in singles competition here on Stars and Strikes. And there's a single pin converted for a spare for the first mark of the day. Steve Plante puts it on the board. Well, quite a month of January for Rich Hallberg. Last week, Super Bowl Sunday, he got his first win ever here on Stars and Strikes, and we found out a little bit more about what's been going on with Rich lately.
Oh, really?
Got himself engaged on New Year's Eve.
Now, why did he do that?
Well, you know, it's a funny story. Congratulations to...
Yes. I was only kidding, Rich. Really, I just don't... Really, I'm only kidding. I just don't want this fellow mad at me.
First mark on Rich Hallberg's side of the board. Rich engaged his fiancee, Justine Kelly. We want to wish them the best. And
absolutely.
Rich was telling me off the air last week that, funny thing, he said, right after I gave her the ring, he said, I've been bowling great. Had a great month of January, rolling high scores, and of course got his first win in the program here last week.
Geez, I think I'll get engaged again. It'll help my game.
Well, now, see, I was trying to figure out how the NHCBA could, like, tie this into a promotion. Like, you know,
I'm sure we could think of something.
People get engaged and bowl, you know.
Well, I know there's one rule they have, that someone who has been engaged within the last 60 days, if it hits a triple strike pool, we don't pay.
And why would that be?
Try to save some money. And Rich came very close last week. And you're to tell him.
I see, yeah. 4 on the spare for Steve Plante.
Well,
so,
congratulations.
That's great.
Yes,
Rich
absolutely.
and Justine. I forgot to ask him if they set a wedding date, which normally is that, you know, first annoying question that everybody asks when you find out you're engaged.
I think it was after he got his first win. So it's any time now. It's last week. First things first.
No pressure, Rich. Oh, big first ball. Steve Plante, Dan, interesting. The left-hander, very smooth delivery, but he throws what seems to be a very heavy ball. It just seems to really crank into the pins when it gets there. It's hard to sometimes define that. I mean, you say, well, how can one bowler throw a ball that acts differently than another? But it's kind of like a baseball pitcher, really, or a hockey player with a hard, heavy shot. The ball seems to act differently depending on who's throwing it. That's a 9 box for Steve Plante. Ball clipped the wood in the channel.
I have another little story about Rich up there, so now we have to tell a little story about Steve next time he comes up.
All right. I'll let you do that. Steve didn't get engaged, though. We know that because he's already married.
That's right. It can't be that. It was a little more exciting for us.
Great effort there by Rich on the half Worcester attempt. And he converts it easily for 10 bucks. Nice out.
55 at the halfway point.
And a 3-pin lead for Rich, going for his second win in a row. Rich from Quincy, Mass, works at the Bank of Boston as a maintenance worker. And big drop of 9.
Looked like that 5-pin might have gone too, but 2 pieces of wood hit together at the same time and prevented one or the other from knocking it down.
And the spare. Two marks for Rich Hallberg. 1 so far for Steve Plante. All right, here's your chance.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Rich, you know, Doug and I, we've always Well, I guess we're really kidding, but we really
Were we?
beg.
Were
No,
we?
we were begging. We were actually begging. And Rich works for Frito-Lay. Steve works for Frito-Lay, and
Let's make sure we get the name right.
that's right. Last time I was on, we were kidding or begging or something that, geez, he didn't bring us any samples. Well, today, folks, he came through big time. And we are so excited.
We can hardly wait for lunch.
That's right. So, Steve, regardless of the outcome of the match, thank you again, and please come back soon.
So that's, you know, that's great and everything, and it's nice that Steve was able to do that, bring the free samples from the Frito-Lay company, but it's really unfortunate that Rich Hallberg didn't bring any free samples because he works at the Bank of Boston. I was really kind of hoping for...
Yeah, those crisp $100 bills would be fine. Just a few apiece.
Both bowlers working on spares there, and the big strike on spare. Well, if Rich can put 2 more of those together, he'll win some crisp $100 bills,
right.
11 of them.
Well, he's 1/3 of the way there. And every time someone throws a strike, we immediately start thinking about that pool.
Oh, look out!
Good!
Oh, he did it the same way last week. The same exact thing, a strike and then a solid 9 drop. Last week, he then threw a strike on top of it. Wow.
Watch out.
No.
He wanted to go farther to the left, not cap that wood, obviously. So it's just a 9 on the strike.
Rich is waiting for a ball that's in the channel. He's actually going to be able to go pick it up himself. It's going to come all the way back. Is he going to throw that same ball again? Yeah, he is. I'm surprised by that.
Didn't work the first time. You got to make sure. Otherwise, he's coming out of the lineup. No, I don't know if he'll use it again. 103 through 8. Oh, Steve Plante that close to his strike on spare. Leaves the 10 pin.
Gotta watch out for that wood in the channel. No.
Might have been thinking that way.
It's always easier, I think, Dan, psychologically anyway, if you have that pin in the corner for a spare, if you don't have a piece of wood in the channel. Because you know if you miss it, you'll just miss it. You won't hit the piece of wood. Well, let's see what Steve can do with this. The 4 horsemen left plus the 8 and the 10. We're talking about lunch a minute ago. When we're here at Park Place Lanes taping Candlepin Stars and Strikes, there's only one place that we would ever dream of eating lunch.
That's right.
And it's right here in the building. The Willow Tree North Restaurant, located right inside Park Place Lanes. Rodney Cronin and his crew. Terrific food, great prices, very friendly service, and any meal you'd like. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, anytime in between. The Willow Tree North Restaurant. It's where the crew eats, right here at Park Place Lanes. Oh, great shot.
Not quite for the spare, but A for effort.
And it'll stay at 9. 112 with a box to go. Let's check that out on the 1789.
Just needed something to come off the right sidewall, and a piece of wood in the gutter kind of deadened everything coming that way.
One, 3, 6, and 9. No wood. Not an easy shot. Nine and a 121, so an opportunity here for Steve Plante to slice into this 16-pin deficit. Uh-oh. Well, he got a few extra instead of just the half Worcester. Trying to play that shot very fine and just missed the head pin. And again, oh, give him credit playing that exact same shot.
Well, he figures he just missed it with that second ball. He give it another shot. Let's take a look. Yeah, ball goes down and takes out the 4 and 7. The wood comes back across for the 5.
That's a bold shot on your third ball. Right back in the pocket this time and gets the kick out in the back and an 8 drop. The 3 and the 5.
Down by 15. He can close the gap considerably if he can get this mark.
Oh, boy.
Afraid of that wood.
So Rich Hallberg will have the lead after 1. It's a 10 and a 107 for Steve Plante. 14 pins the difference. We'll be back with Game 2 on Candlepin Stars and Strikes after these messages.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is brought to you in part by Coca-Cola Classic. Always the real thing, always Coca-Cola.
Okay, bonus ball time. Chance for somebody to win $30. All you have to do is send regular size postcards in. Send in your name, address. No, we don't need a telephone number. And put a number down from 1 to 10. And if
Well, if you want to give us your phone
sure.
number, you could do that too. But
yes.
We'll announce it on the air.
And put a number down from 1 to 10. And if your number matches the number of pins knocked down by a winning bowler, you win not only the $30 in cash, but new set of bowling balls, compliments of Bob Perella and Paramount Industries. Send them to Park Place Lanes, Route 28, Windham, New Hampshire, 03087.
Nicely done.
Well, I've got a good teacher over these years, Doug.
Oh, Steve Plante starts Game 2 with the first strike on his side of the scoreboard.
No, none of one of those rules that the NHCBA has. No left-handers can win that pool.
You got to read the fine print.
Yes. Ooh. No, I'd be more than happy to give that away. It's been exciting. $1,100 now.
Steve from Manchester, New Hampshire. We mentioned his wife, Brenda. They have a 4-year-old daughter, Amanda.
Ooh, he could steal this. He could steal it. Not quite.
Nope. So it's a 10 and a 29 start for Steve Plante in the first 2. Actually, we were joking about phone numbers, Dan, and we don't need phone numbers on postcards,
No.
but that did remind me of one thing, which is if you send in your name and address and you happen to list a post office box
That's true.
as your address, we had this happen just recently, it would be real helpful to us if you could also list a street address. In the event you win, we have to mail you the bonus balls and the bowling balls.
Yeah.
Your prize, and we need to have an actual street address in order to mail them to you. So
I believe that UPS is the one that carries them, so it's got to be a street address.
So if you have a post office box, that's fine, but just jot in parentheses or in the corner somewhere what your actual street address is, so that in the event you win, we'll be able to find you. 9 for Rich Hallberg. So quickly 10 pins of that lead is gone, and it's now just 4. Candlepin Stars and Strikes brought to you in part by Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan. Come to Salem and save. Route 97, Salem, New Hampshire.
Almost another strike by Steve Plante on lane 32. Everything but the 3-pin.
No, that wood was not frozen in the back. And Steve will have to settle for a 10. That's 2 singles that Steve has missed. The other one was blocked. Oh, big first ball. No single pin that time. Wow.
And you know what Steve's thinking. If I only get that single pin, what a fill that would have been. Strike in the 4th.
You mentioned that before. How many times?
Yeah.
You miss a single and then you throw the big ball on top of it. I suppose that might just be from anger.
It could be.
9 drop for Rich Hallberg.
Leaves just the head pin left after missing that with his first ball. Not a bad break.
Spare in the 3rd. Each bowler with 4 marks to this point, and the match just about even. Rich takes 6 on his spare.
4 horsemen right. 1, 3, 6, 10.
Well, Rich knew that he had missed it. So that will give Steve Plante an opportunity to cut further into this lead. When we come back, Steve has a strike up in the 4th, and he'll be looking for that double when we come back to Stars and Strikes.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is brought to you in part by Tri-State Megabucks, once again bringing you the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions.
All right, big ball here for Steve Plante. Working on a strike. Just as it says there. Oh, good hit. Good hit.
I say that looked like an awful good ball going in. Perfect shot, really, and left just the 5.
We mentioned last week Rich Hallberg went strike, 9 drop, strike. Steve Plante has done the opposite. He went 9 drop, strike, 9 drop. And there's the spare on strike. $1,100 in the triple strike jackpot if somebody were to put down 3 in a row this week. The jackpot from the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association.
One, 3, 7, and 10.
Yes.
3 in a row.
Steve was not real happy with that ball he threw, that first ball, but he was able to convert it to a spare. And he's evened the match through 4 boxes, plus he has the 2 marks up. That's what Rich Hallberg did last week. He had a great match. And actually, if not for a slow start in game 3, might have been even higher. So Steve Plante now takes the lead in the match. By 8 right now. Next week, the winner of this match will be back to face Joe Tavernese, a guy that you bowled against a few times, I'm guessing.
Absolutely. Great Candlepin bowler.
One of the many from Lynn, Massachusetts. Oh, yes. spare up for Rich Hallberg in the 6th. Had to wait on this one, though. Just got a tap on the 10 pin in the corner. And Steve Plante drills out the half Worcester on his spare.
If he's missed anything today, it's usually to the left. Right back in the pocket with that one, though. Good recovery. And works it off for 9.
So 96 through 7 to Steve. Going to be well above that 107 opening game. Steve carries a 121 average. And the spare on the 4 horsemen. I was just thinking as Steve was about to throw that ball down that we have not seen that made very much lately.
No, usually leave that corner pin standing. Not this time.
7 marks for Steve Plante. 4 in the last 5 boxes after missing that single pin.
Rich working on a spare.
I'm going to drop that one a little bit. Just 4. Oh, how about this shot? And the 10. The difference in the match now 5. Steve Plante with the mark up in the 8th. Rich Hallberg looking to match it. Oh, this time the spread eagle. And a 7 for Rich. Not what he was looking for opposite that spare. Chance for Steve Plante now to pad the lead. Just missed the head pin, crossing over into what is for him the Brooklyn pocket, the 1-3.
He leaves himself the 1-2-9-10.
So Steve at 122 with a box to go.
Trailing by 14 coming in. Now he's leading by 14. Light hit this time. Wants that 2 pin to stay up. 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8 left.
Nope. Do you suppose as part of his job at Frito-Lay that Steve gets to do any taste testing? Eight box for Steve, 130 and a total of 237 for 2 games. And it remains to be seen if that'll hold up for the lead here after 2. Rich Hallberg will need 2 marks in order to regain the lead. Well, not exactly what you'd call a spare leave, but we did see Rich make this shot last week. Not this time.
And a 10 and 94, trailing by 14. Chance to cut it right down into single numbers with a mark in the 10th, opposite an 8 box.
Pocket hit, strike in the 10th.
That will do it. Strike in the 10th. Gains 2 and count, so the lead now is 12.
Could take the lead in the match if he throws another one.
Take home $1,100 too if he could duplicate that feat 2 more times.
Yep, off target this time.
This match is going to be extremely close.
Oh, converts it for the spare. 20 in the 10th and 114 for Rich Hallberg. A 2-game total of 235. Just 2 pins separating our bowlers with 1 game to go here on Stars and Strikes when we come back. Candlepin Stars and Strikes brought to you in part by Coca-Cola. Eat bowling, sleep bowling, drink Coca-Cola. That's what we always say. Oh, every pin wobbling.
Oh, there goes one. Oh, 3, 6, 10, and kind of some favorable wood out front. Okay, 2 more pieces behind.
Spare in the first.
He's up by 14 after the first game, and now he trailed by 2 after 2 games.
Rich led just about wire to wire a week ago against Dan Broder. Had a big lead coming into game 3, but not today. This may go a little too far to the right, maybe. He's still looking at the 4 and the 9. And the wood's still moving around. It's amazing how that wood keeps moving sometimes. It looks like it is about to stop, and then it goes somewhere else. It'll be a 9 box for Rich.
9 3/4. Just it won't go down. That 9 pin.
Well, last week Rich had a bit of a problem. If he had any problem at all, Dan, it was filling marks, and right there just a 5 fill. He had a 4 and a 6 fill on spares in the second game. In a close match, you tend to look back on that. The 4 horsemen for a spare.
It's a shot at it twice, makes it twice. This time the ball takes the 10 pin.
6 spares and 2 strikes for each bowler, and that's how close the match is right now. Uh-oh, just 4 on the fill.
Yeah, he lofted that one out there, didn't hit the 1-2 pocket, lofted out, came in heavy on the head pin, and the result was just 4 pins.
Oh, great shot.
Oh, fantastic.
Great shot, but the 10 is still there. What a shot. You could tell as soon as he threw it that it had a chance. And 10. So it's still a 2-pin match.
Dances it over, gets the 6 pin, and nudges the 10, but not enough to knock it down.
Boy, it looked like he threw that ball in the perfect spot. Rich Hallberg off target on the head pin. No, I don't know if he wanted that pin to go down. It's the 1, 8, and 9 now.
Oh, he's got some wood in between, which helps, but you've got to be almost flush on the head pin and drive it straight back. And then there's no guarantee.
Nine.
33 through 3. It's one of those games whoever kicks the last field goal might win. He close all the way.
Just clipping the head pin that time on the way by.
Wanted that 8 pin to go down, but 3, 6, 10 with the 8. Piece of wood behind, another one to the right. Second piece nestled up against the 8. Should make it if he hits a 3 pin.
Yep.
Wood actually helps him on the 8, although I think the 3 pin would have carried it anyways. But spare up in the 4th.
Steve Plante, oh, big pocket hit and not much to show for it.
Well, the wood looks good, probably to the average bowler, but he may leave that 8 pin. And if he gets the 8, may leave the 10. Let's see what happens. Nope, he's going to get them all. Nice shot.
Just enough.
Just enough to carry the 10.
Well, I think the key is he played the wood way down low, too. Carried it. Steve in the position to have last at bat here in this match, being the higher seed, and he drops 9 on the strike.
Going to go 2 in a row and increase his lead. Well, he's increased his lead already. He needs just to maintain it.
Got it.
Ooh. You get a little smile there. He didn't want to play that wood, but he did.
10 marks for Steve Plante, and this is still a very tight match coming down the stretch. We'll get back to it after these words. Candlepin Stars and Strikes, brought to you in part by Tri-State Megabucks, and now with Mega Cash, choose your dream. Rich Hallberg working on a spare. Finds the head pin, 6.
Just 6. 3, 6, 10 on the right with a 4 pin. Piece of wood in between the 6, 10, but he's going to have to split this 3, 6. Throw the 3 pin over. Well, he's coming the inside.
The runner-up in today's match takes 4th place prize money in the ladder for $175. The winner, of course, is back for next week's semifinals against Joe Tavernese. And 2 weeks from today, our #1 seed Mark Gregory, who just teamed so well a few weeks ago with Janice McIntyre on our mixed doubles event, is the #1 seed in this series. Well, Rich puts 2 open boxes up, and Steve Plante will step up there working on a spare with the lead. So advantage Steve Plante, at least for the moment.
He doesn't want to make a mistake on this spare. He's opposite of 6 on Rich's spare. Anything more than that, he'll increase his lead. Wants to keep it in double figures if he can.
Oh, missed the head pin, just 3. And that keeps the lead at just 9.
Oh, boy.
Wow. What a gutty shot that was.
Well, he made a mistake in the first ball, but he wasn't going to make the same mistake twice, this time on the inside for a beautiful spare. And going to remember that one going down the stretch.
Now he's in the same position, working on a spare, and this time he gets the big fill. So now he has added to the lead. No. That would have pushed the lead up over 20.
Still left the door open for Rich.
Actually, it would have probably put it up close to 30. It's going to be around 20 as it is. In fact, it'll be 20 exactly with 4 boxes to go. Still plenty of time for Rich Hallberg, though. Each bowler with 2 strikes to this point. Rich's was way back in the first game Well, they'll take the head pin, and where's the wood going? Not great.
It's there, but I don't like it now.
The other piece coming over might help.
You run the risk here of capping that wood and maybe taking out the 2-pin, but you try to get the 2-pin clean if you can.
Oh, he got it.
Wood and the 2-pin at the same time. Great shot.
And an important shot.
Got it high enough, it turned it a little bit and drove everything straight back. Spare in the 7th. Much needed, I might add.
Drop 7.
Triangle, 5, 3, 5, and 6. Down by 20. You need at least 2 more marks.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
That 7 fill, by the way, was the second best fill that Rich has had on a spare. He had a strike on spare earlier. Just 9 there, so 1 mark. So all you can hope is that Steve doesn't put up more than 1.
He's still 2 marks behind, so you probably want to hope Rich doesn't put up any.
Well, the diamond for Steve.
3, 5, 6, and 9. No wood to help him.
Oh, yeah.
Nice shot. Yes.
Boy, he's made the diamond. He's made the 4 horsemen twice.
He's made some other thing there where he only got 3 on the mark. He's made some great shots.
Right on the head pin again, and
that's a strike. A strike and probably the win.
Boy, big spot to get that. By the time he comes up to try to throw the double, he may have already won the match. We'll see. Oh, Rich. Not getting what he needed here, coming down the stretch. But full credit to Steve Plante for catching fire at the right time.
Making some terrific shots going down the stretch, and then, of course, that big strike on spare in the 7th and 8th.
And that close. Well, Rich makes this. He'll give himself another chance at the triple strike at least. I beg your pardon. No, it does not. He needed that pin to go down to have his last chance.
You're just trying to give that money away, aren't you?
Well, we really want to, Dan. I mean, it's exciting. Spare in the 10th.
Well, the way Steve Plante's been throwing the ball, I wouldn't be surprised if he did it.
Well, he's got 1 up there already. He'll be up momentarily to try and work on it. And a big fill for Rich. 9 on that last spare for a 117 and a 352. But chances are this first ball for Steve Plante is going to clinch the match. Now, if he makes it a strike, things will get even more interesting. Oh, a little full.
Oh, that's right. Just a tad. Looked like a pretty good ball. In fact, he's going to end up with 9.
Wow. That wins the match for Steve Plante. Now he's eyeballing this spare attempt. No.
I can't help but think as the wood was settling down there, he might have gave the wood a thought. And sometimes takes your mind off what you're doing, and oops.
You wanted to give him that spare.
I did. And then I wanted to give him the 10 box and gave him the 9 instead. Oh, 1 more shot at the triple strike. Come on, Steve. Good looking ball.
Oh,
there's
there
one.
it is. Well, he's done what Rich did last
That's
week.
right.
Strike, 9-drop strike. Wow.
That's his pocket. 1-2 pocket. Watch, they just don't take any time going down. Just tripping the 6-pin. Almost, well, it is. Perfect strike. Tripping the 6 or the 4.
Let's see. Oh, a little full.
Little hop there, and took a little bit off the ball. You know, in other matches, the bowlers would just be throwing it, the matches in hand, and but not anymore. You still get that triple strike possibility. They're going to be firing every ball right to the end.
149 for Steve Plante and a fine 386 in his first appearance in singles competition here on the Winds of New England, and he gets a win over Rich Hallberg. We'll be back with the bowlers in the bonus ball contest when we come back. We are back on Stars and Strikes, $175 for Rich Hallberg. First of all, our congratulations on your engagement, and also, well, coming down the stretch today, Steve made some great shots on you.
Yeah, he bowled well. He was, you know, he was on a head pin, which is what you have to be. I wasn't. I was missing it, and you know, he bowled well. I knew he was starting to warm up there, and he responded, and I didn't, and that's
Well, congratulations also on that first win last week, and we hope to see you back again soon, Rich.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations. Rich Hallberg with a win last week. Coming up a little bit short today, but now we will have first-time winner Steve Plante throwing our bonus ball contest. We look for a winner for $30. And it will be 8. I believe someone in the crowd requested that Steve throw an 8, and he was able to do it. Unfortunately, it's not a match. Joseph Potvin of Guilford, New Hampshire chose 7. Sorry, Joe. We'll be sending you a consolation gift. The prize will go up a little next week. Step right in here, Steve, so we can get you on camera. And, well, you make that first appearance a successful one. You came up with some big shots there in the third.
Yeah, well, I felt pretty good. And, you know, I saw Richie bowl the first match, and I knew he was on fire, so I needed something.
Well, perhaps you've heard of this next guy we have for you next week, Joe Tavernese.
Oh, yes, very much so. And I qualified right next to him, so I was watching him the whole way.
Well, that'll be the semifinals next week. We look forward to it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Steve. Congratulations on the win. Steve Plante against Joe Tavernese next week, and Steve bowling very well here today. 386 in his first singles appearance.
Bowled next to Joe, and they tied.
That's right.
That's right.
That's
It'll
right.
be a good
Well,
match.
they're going to settle that tie from the roll-off next week here Sunday at noon on Stars and Strikes. Don't forget Skins next Saturday at noon. Until then, for Dan Murphy and the whole crew, I'm Doug Brown. Have a good week, everybody.